Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy. Square this up a little bit. All right. Well, I do apologize for the late notification that you received on the live stream today. For whatever reason, we had it scheduled hours ago, but YouTube had it set as private. And thanks to Mike Camparelli for reaching out to let me know a few minutes before showtime to redo it. So that's what I did. So little snafu here on our part. How was your sales this weekend? As you can see, we survived the storm. If you want to call it that,
it wasn't even a storm.
Kind of weak. It was kind of a dud, but
terrible.
But you know what? I'm rather it be that. It brought some rain. I'd rather it be that than some craziness, right? So everyone's good, safe, and that's kind of what all that matters. But I guess what this Hurricane Hilary brought was just an influx of sales. It's crazy. Even the other account, our clearance account, the secondary account that we have, got 10 sales over the weekend. Now I count anything from Friday afternoon to Sunday night as a sale. And that account getting 10 sales is like, wow, that's amazing. I'm like, what did you do? You know, just looking at the stuff that sold. So had a late sale last night. We're down to hardly any cases. You can see there's only about, I'd say 20 football cases left. I sold about, I think 60. No. I sold 88 of my baseball cases. So I'm almost out of those too. So pretty good, being that we bought that lot back in May. I think it was the middle part of May. So we had these acrylic cases, about 1,000 count, for about 3 months. And I figured these will be gone in a couple weeks. At the pace that we've been selling them at. So a pretty good flip, bought in for 600. And I'm sure that after it's all said and done, I mean, the 88 baseball cases I sold last night was just a little bit shy under $400 shipped to California from Vegas, which isn't much. And then, of course, the second part of that deal was secondary. So I didn't even have to put promoted because they were just asking me, hey, I'll buy the rest. And I listed it without the promoted rates, just shared the item number with the guy. So turns out I think it was a collectible shop that bought me out, because at least that's the name of their eBay store. So 180,000 feedback this buyer had. So I think that was pretty safe on that purchase. So wanted to real quick, and hopefully your sales were good. Wanted to ask you guys something. I had a little note, but I know what I'm talking about here. No, that's not it. I'm good. If you get for those out there who actually sell their items with paid shipping, and you're not building in your shipping into the cost of the item, like I calculate most of my items. Sometimes I have a fixed price, like $7.99, $9.99, that type of thing, when I know it's a smaller weighted item. But you guys know I sell a lot of heavier stuff, so I don't combine my shipping into the price. I just don't think that's a good idea. And I charge calculated shipping on top of it. And this is for those, this question is for those of you who do something similar to that. And have you received maybe messages from people who will try to buy your item, or maybe agree to, a best offer or something of that nature, and then they come back and say, well, wait, how come when you quoted me this, it was, say, $20 for shipping, but then I go in and check out and it's trying to charge me, let's say, $30. So I'm wondering if you guys know the answer to why that's happening. I do. I have the answer, but I just wanted to take a moment to see if you guys happen to know why that is the case. So a buyer receives an offer from you, and they go to check out, and the shipping is a different amount than what the offer has quoted them. And the reason is, without dragging it on too long, the reason is almost every time, in fact, every time I've encountered this, your buyer is trying to ship that item somewhere else. Okay. So in this particular case, this lady was pretty indignant with me. I know you love that word, but she was pretty unhappy with me because she's trying to buy this toilet seat. Of course, okay, that's the first sign that they're shipping it somewhere else, because they usually are sending it to Aunt Thelma in another state somewhere. The the relative is probably saying, you know, I know you're having some issues with the toilet, but let me take care of that for you, Thelma. And so they go in and they try to buy this item. This person was in Texas. They're trying to send it to Georgia. They get quoted for Texas, and then they go check out, and Georgia is like $10 more shipping from Vegas, right? And then she wants to get all mad at me. And I'm like, you know, this happens all the time. You know, I even gave her a screenshot because she wanted it, trying to save money, having it sent to her. Now, if I'm sending it to you in Texas, again, Thelma needs it in Georgia. I don't understand how that's going to work. Do you think that it's going to cost you only $10 to ship that from you in Texas to Thelma in Georgia? I doubt it, especially you're not getting discounts like I do. So I don't know. Just thought that if anyone ever encounters that buyer who wants to complain about shipping, it's almost always because they're changing that address at checkout. So my little diatribe only took 6 minutes this time.
Whoa.
And really I didn't have a whole lot to talk about other than, you know, we survived the storm. We say that kind of in jest, but there's a lot of people who did get impacted, like in California, and a lot of people who had a lot of flooding and stuff like that. It just didn't really hit the Vegas area that hard. And you know, inundated with shipping though. And that's a good thing, right? I guess we can complain about shipping. We can get all up in arms that the shipping, even with that deal, that 80 something odd case deal, I had to pack everything good. I mean, I was in bed. I don't think I got to bed till after midnight, and then got up and continued for another couple hours. So a lot of people might say, it takes too long to ship the kind of things that you ship. But at the end of the day, you know, we're making pretty good money for the amount of items that I'm selling on my main account. And then the secondary, it's funny, on the secondary account, we had 10 items, right? And I think we only made like $150 on those 10 items. It wasn't very much at all. And it's like all this extra shipping. Yeah, it's easier to ship these smaller packages, but you know, as far as what I call the juice and the squeeze, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. 136. Well, that's the total funds that are in the account. I had to use some of those funds to ship those items. So it was actually around a little over 150, $160 or something like that. So yeah, it's just, that's why it's like, I can never go back, I don't think, to really sourcing small items for the sake of them being small. If they don't have higher ASP, you got to pass on it. I mean, she brought in this tub of DVDs and VHS and stuff like that. I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? Because this is going to go to a yard seller being donated, because I'm not putting them up unless I'm going to lot them out. But even then, you got to have some pretty good VHS tapes or DVDs to really get anything worth your while when you're lotting it out.
That's why they're all together, because they're supposed to go in a bundle.
Yeah, I know. But even then, what are you going to make on a bundle of DVDs? $10? $20?
I told you just throw them
Or
away.
it might be. It might be that we just have a little yard sale coming up here in October. So let's get to some of your questions and comments. We have Kevin Hawthorne from Lakeland, Florida. And by the way, this is John. I'm not wearing a hat today. I just decided, you know what? I'm going to just go El Commando with the hairdo. And this is me. So wearing no hat today. And I thought, well, you know what? She didn't like the shirt that I had on, because she's like, oh, I can't stand that shirt. But I have like this super bad shirt that I like to wear once in a while. I was going to wear it. She's like, I don't like that shirt. I said, fine, I'll just throw a polo on. So I look a lot different today, but I figure, you know what, you guys, some of you guys might be going to the reseller rally next month, and I'm not going to always be wearing a hat. And I think every time I've gone to like the get together in Vegas, I think people don't know who I am because I'm not wearing my hat. So here I am, no hat. So welcome, Kevin, and hopefully everything's good out there in Lakeland, Florida. We have PTS Treasures, says, hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. We have Maya, says, hi, everyone. Sales were a little slow for me on Friday, but Saturday and Sunday were great. There you go.
Awesome.
You know, you're always going to have that one day, you know, that might be a blip. Like last weekend was just weird. We didn't really get good sales at all last weekend. We have Biscuit Butt. Hello, Kevin, PTS, and Mayo. Hello to the FAE fam. And I know Biscuit Butt's been running around doing a lot of sourcing and stuff. He found some pretty good stuff that he's been able to flip pretty quick. And let's see. Lenny K says, hello from New Hampshire. Good sales weekend. That's good to hear.
Mm.
Good to hear a lot of people talking about getting good sales. Kind of tells me that we're transitioning out of the summer. Even though we're still in the summer, we're transitioning out of the summer slowdown. A lot of people are back at, kids are back at school, not as many vacations going on, and people are kind of getting back to the routine, which includes buying stuff online, right? Ping G says, hello, everyone in the chat. Just as I figured, we only got steady rain all day on Sunday, but I need to see flash flood footage on the news in those areas north of Los Angeles. Yeah, it's weird. I think, Ping, you're in the Orange County area.
Yeah.
And my Angels got rained out today.
They say that the Dodger Stadium got flooded out.
Yeah.
Like, bad.
Yeah, they're saying that the outfield got messed up, so they have to do a lot of groundwork on that. And I get it. It's and it's what's weird is they actually played at SoFi. They played the football game between the Chargers and the Saints in LA while this storm was going on, which I thought, wow, that's pretty crazy. We've got Mike says, hi, J&J and FAE family. My sales continue to be strong each day. Diligently following John's tips and tricks has really made a difference to my conversions. I suggest all to do the same. Thanks, bro. You're welcome, man. Thanks, Mike. It's really not a whole lot to it. It really isn't. I think mainly it's just getting out of this, let's just say it, being stubborn, the stubbornness of, and getting out of the thought process,
stuck in your ways.
Right, of, wow, I mean, for years, this stuff sold so well on this platform. Well, why doesn't it sell now? And, that's why a lot of people have a choice. They say, well, you know what? I'm just going to call it a day. I'm not even going to sell on eBay anymore. That's sad to me because there's still a lot of money to be made on this platform. I think what people don't want to do is to find ways to get their items on other platforms. And as eBay loses market share, those people are going somewhere. They're not going to stop the habit of buying online. Online buying is so convenient that the idea these people, 6 to 9 million, how whatever that number was that eBay lost year over year last year in buyers, the thought that they're just all going to go back to Walmart, go back to brick and mortar, go back to whatever stores they're used to shopping at, when all these years they've been just, I think, finding a new way to shop and being spoiled from that. No, they're not leaving the online platforms. They're finding better places to shop, whether that's Amazon, whether that is some of these like Walmart, Target, they have all online, places to buy and all that. People are going to be buying online more and more and more. And, in my opinion, shame on eBay for not taking advantage of that and growing their business when more and more people are buying online. But where are those people going? They're going to other platforms. And if you want to stay ahead of the game, you're going to have to transition a lot of this stuff over to other platforms. Like a lot of people I'm watching, they're having a lot of success in selling on other sites. Don't ask me why, but it's working. And like on Poshmark, a lot of clothing, accessories, that's what they're known for. You're going to get better prices in a lot of cases on Poshmark, on clothing and that kind of stuff. Anytime we sell a pair of shoes on Poshmark, I'm always taking it down on eBay, once it's sold. And I'm like, wow, look how much lower in price this pair of shoes was on eBay as compared to what I just sold it for on Poshmark. It's almost every time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Biscuit Butt's getting the free stuff. So cannot stress enough that free stuff is out there. Yeah, it is. I mean, just in your local offer up ads, you can go and check. People are giving stuff away. They just don't want to be bothered with it. In fact, people are to the point now, I think not only do they not want to be bothered with it, they just don't even be bothered with the yard sale. They're just like, here, come take it. Andy's in the house and Indiana in the house. Hope everyone's doing good. Yes. Rain Galaro says, wow, it was actually early for once. Hope everyone is having a good Monday. Good Monday. Yes, I'm very encouraged by it. And Callie Deb says, hi, John, Jenna, and everyone. We survived Hilary too. I've experienced a tropical storm and an earthquake at the same time. Who is playing Jumanji?
That's right.
Well, I saw that. Okay, I saw the earthquake.
Yeah.
Okay, it was only 5 point something. And as a California native, I got to say,
We don't consider those.
I don't consider that an
earthquakes.
earthquake. It's got to be over a 6 point whatever for it to be a real earthquake. And generally, whenever there's weather, like cold weather, like a storm that comes through, it somehow, for whatever reason, sets something off and causes an earthquake to happen. I was watching a channel the day before the earthquake, and they're saying, yeah, this is earthquake weather. And of course, you guys get an earthquake the very next day.
I know. Our daughter texts me right after it, and she goes, I think Mother Nature's pretty upset with us.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, well, you're in California.
So yeah, it's one of those once in a lifetime things. And I think the thing with people in Southern California, or on the West Coast for that matter, maybe not so much in the Northwest, but here in the Southwest, whenever we get rain, right, storms that you guys would know as just regular storms, like in the Southeast, maybe in the Northeast as well, those are major events for us because storms like that don't do as well here because of
we don't have drainage.
Right.
We don't have the capacity to be able to clean it all up. And where is it going to go? You know, Vegas is a giant bowl, and anything that comes off the mountains and the roads on the outskirts of town comes right into the strip. Yep. And it just settles. So it gets very dangerous here. Last year we had major flooding and literally took out quite a few people from the tunnels that they live in, the homeless. And it was very sad to see. So it's a very dangerous thing here in Vegas.
Yes. And then we have Jackie Bleckner in the house. Thanks for being here, Jackie. And then Mike said, saw the Let's Do Lunch podcast on replay. Great job. And thanks for the shout out. Very sweet of you to do so. Well, you know what? We don't just give shout outs to people just to give shout outs. Certainly you have been right there every step of the way with our journey on this channel. So thank you, Mike. And in fact, I would have been on here at 3:00 and nobody would have been even in the chat waiting for us had Mike not reached out and said, hey, it's like 10 minutes beforehand. He called us and left a voicemail. I didn't even see the thing ring, and I had to call him back. I was getting ready, so my phone was in here, and that's why I didn't answer. But Mike's done a whole lot for us, and honestly, I don't even think I deserve it. I mean, I'm just a guy out here just sharing my experiences with what I'm dealing with. What I see going on with eBay reselling online, and he just happened to be just part of the channel like for the longest time, and right then and there, one of our biggest, if not the biggest, supporters of the channel. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. Heartfelt love going out. Certainly appreciate you.
Can't wait to see you.
Yeah, we get to see Mike in September next month at the reseller rally. So looking forward to that.
So freaking excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I love to travel. We
don't get to do it very often, so it's nice to be able to go to someplace other than California.
Right. And then Sandra says, howdy, FAA family, good sales this week. Love to hear that.
Awesome.
John Doe says, I had an outstanding weekend. The new employee at the post office was stressing when I kept adding packages to the pile. So, you guys may have seen my post that I put out today showing you all the packages. I guess if you're subscribed, you'll see that. You'll get those notifications on your phone. Probably won't see it if you're not looking at the channel on your phone. But I mean, it is a large pile of boxes out there. So when the FedEx guy comes, I'm going to be the one that's going to go out, and she's going to, chat with you, because some of these are very heavy boxes, and it's not fair to make her, just go out there.
My arm's already killing me from all the shipping. So to add that on, it would be a little much.
So the show will go on, and you just need to pick Jenna's brain for about 2-3 minutes when that happens. Christy Meyer says, hi, everyone. Well, thanks,
Hi.
Christy. Thanks for being here. And Andy says, sales, we're like crickets.
Loud and obnoxious?
So, and I'll extend this offer to anyone that wants to be patient with me. You know, I do this normally late at night when I'm like unwinding. I'll check my emails. But, you know, Andy or anybody else, if you want to email me, flippingainteasy2020@gmail.com, I'm glad to, you know, take a look. You know, I get messages from people all the time who say, you know, hey, can you take time one-on-one with me on the phone? And because the only time that I really have to spend on looking at this kind of stuff to be as helpful as I can is kind of like my unwind time late at night, later than would be appropriate to have any kind of phone calls. I just want to stick to helping people through my email and stuff like that. But I'm glad to help whenever I can. Just don't really want to do the whole coaching thing. And really, it's not about money. I don't charge anyone for any kind of help. But it's all about the time that I can't get back. I only get 24 hours in the day. It's like anyone else. And for whatever reason, it just seems like with the channel, with the business, with just trying to live, it's like the day goes by so fast. I just couldn't imagine having extra time to do that. So
he always asks for 1 extra hour in the day.
heck yeah, I mean, I'll take that. But you know, aside from cutting my sleep short, which sometimes happens, I just have to make do with the time that we have, and unfortunately, it leaves fewer hours to do anything else that I'd like to do. And I'd like to be able to help people out, you know, during the day. I just can't. Savage Picker says, hello all. Sales were 0 on Friday and Sunday, 2 sales Saturday, and 1 today. Extremely slow. So we see that. Now, I don't know if that's a trend. I believe before you've actually reported decent sales. Maybe I'm wrong, but are you taking a proactive approach to fix that? And I guess that's kind of what I would recommend. Maybe it's like our last weekend. Last weekend wasn't very good.
Yeah,
I mean, we
last
made sales.
weekend was nothing
Right.
compared to what this weekend brought.
So maybe it's just a blip on the radar. Maybe it's something that is going to correct itself. But if you continue to see slow sales, you got to get in front of it. And the answer is out there. I promise you that sales are there and people are out there willing to buy. You just got to figure it out. That's the toughest part about this reselling game, is figuring out how to get our items sold. And it's not as easy. I mean, I guess it's as easy as just listing it if you're selling iPhones. But if you're selling stuff that doesn't have great demand, that's where it becomes a challenge. Like these DVDs and VHS tapes. I mean, I can go on and list them, I guess, but there's not a whole lot of demand for it. And I'm just kind of spinning my wheels, I think. As easy as they are to list and as many as I'd get up quickly, it's just that hour spent listing this tub of stuff. I'd rather have that hour back, you know, as to do whatever else I need to do.
Yeah, those videos are like, they're VHSs. They are brand new, and they are like, you know, National Geographic, you know, like there's one on a penguin. So they're nothing. I don't know why we have them, to be honest. I don't know where they came from.
They came from a yard sale, but I think I bought a lot. I mean, I think I bought a lot a while ago.
They had to have come in a lot, because Lord knows he would never buy that.
Yeah, I think I bought them in a lot. And, I think I returned from a yard sale going, wow, got all these new sealed, you know, DVDs, Blu-rays and stuff. And while some have sold, it wasn't the best investment. This is like last year when I was really struggling to find stuff to resell before I made the transition in February to really selling higher ASP stuff. Callie Debs did not get any sales during the storm. Sorry to hear that.
Man.
And let's see. We
want to see you guys thrive.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I would feel, I mean, I always feel bad when I get reports from people that say, hey, you haven't made any sales, right? I kind of feel like I have a responsibility to try to help whenever I can, right? I can't make the changes for you, but that's why we have this forum every Monday and Friday, so we can sort of get together and bounce ideas off of each other. And which is why I offer, hey, if you have a store and you want to share it with me, I won't make a video out of it. I promise you. I will keep your store secret. But if you want to contact me, I'll certainly look at it. I mean, what does it hurt? I mean, I really, it's up to you. I'd rather have that extra hour to sleep, but I'm glad to sacrifice it to help you.
Yeah, but
if
even
I
when
can.
he goes to try to go to sleep, his phone is in his hand for the next hour.
Because I have like Love Island playing in my.
No, negative, sir.
Last night wasn't that problem. I mean, you had it on, but you did turn it off, and I didn't have to ask you to please shut it off. So Rosie Games says, "Hey, John and Jenna, looks like you're killing it out there."
We're trying.
Yeah. You know, we're doing the best we can. We have travels coming up here in 2 weeks. We're going to do some Labor Day traveling with some friends out in New Mexico. And we have the reseller rally in Cincinnati at the end of September. And
I also have a trip in the middle of that to California.
Yeah. So it's time lost that, you know, I'm always listing, right? So it just kind of puts a lot more pressure on me to just keep churning out and converting free time to making drafts and things like that. So when we're gone, then I can just launch the listings like if we haven't left.
Archie says, don't answer when I call. You'll get an hour back. LOL.
And
that's true.
I wasn't going to say it. Ping G says, had one offer I sent out that sent a counter offer that I accepted. Buyer says she can't pay until the 23rd. That's okay with me. And look,
that's only 2 days away.
I had the same kind of deal. I had someone on the 16th buy one of those weed whackers, for lack of a better term. And he's like, hey, you know, I'm a veteran. Yeah, I'm a veteran. You know, I not getting paid until next week. And so we're still waiting. And I don't expect to hear back from him until the 23rd as well. But once the 24th rolls around and you've told me you're going to pay on the 23rd, we're canceling that and we're moving on from that. We have MK7. Hey, I made it at the beginning. Hope all is well with everyone. Yes.
Yes.
And then Biscuit Butt wants to hear Jenna's monologue.
I don't have a monologue. I just don't.
Cassandra says, never had the situation. I'm wondering if eBay thought they were sending it to one address, but they're shipping it to a new location that's further away.
That's exactly what was happening.
Yeah, and you're going to get this closer to the holidays. And so I kind of figured why bring it up, but just in case you get that message from a perturbed buyer that maybe is buying Christmas gifts for somebody, right? And they get it quoted, you know, maybe they're a state or two away from you. You charge shipping, which I think most of us should be by now for most things. And so they're getting a good quoted price. And then they go to check out and they're sending it to family across the country. And they're like, well, wait, what's going on? And then also you have to wonder, I think maybe there's people who won't reach out, who are accepting the offer. They go to check out and then they get a higher price and they just say, you know what, I'll go buy it somewhere else. And they just let it time out. So that's what's happening. So it's not a glitch or anything like that. I mean, maybe once in a while, but every time that I've encountered it, it's been because of them changing the address.
Why are they going crazy?
I don't know.
I haven't heard a doorbell yet.
Maya says, I don't think I ever had anyone complaining about shipping discrepancies. And you won't if you do a lot of free shipping built into the price. Hold on, let me go check. I don't like
there was no ringy dingy of the doorbell. So it said somebody's birthday was earlier. Everybody was wishing happy birthday. Who was that? It's Tommy's birthday? No. Okay, so it's Josh's son, Tommy. Is that what I'm getting right? Happy birthday, Tommy. We hope you have a great one. That's awesome. How old is he turning? Is he a little-in or is he a big guy? Tommy Bernard podcast, Big 50.
Yeah, I was going to say something about that. I heard that it was his birthday today. So happy birthday, Tommy Bernard, if you're here.
You're an old man before him?
Yes.
Over the hill.
So unless you had bad grades in high school, I'm assuming you're the class of 91. So that's awesome.
He said 55. Oh, it's Roman's birthday, 55.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yes, AARP is great, he said.
So is it your 50th or are you actually older than that?
Okay, Archie.
Yeah, it is Tommy's birthday today.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
I Googled it before the show, so that's why.
Well, Josh Galt said today's his son's birthday, so he won't be here today. Yeah.
Okay.
So he was just checking in, but he wanted to let
we
us
have
know.
Jeff Zenick says, hi, John and Jenna and folks. Greetings from Tallahassee.
Tallahassee.
Yeah. And then Ping G says, I charge calculated shipping and I have never had that happen, as I guess buyer changed the ship to address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had it a few times, but never, I mean, that's the first time I've ever had anybody message us, right?
No. It's happened. I've had a few of them happen where, a lot of people aren't confrontational. So it's like, maybe they figure it out. Well, I did change the address. So therefore, it's going to give me possibly a different rate and sometimes maybe even a lower rate. They're shipping it somewhere closer to where you're at. But it is a thing. If you ever get someone that messages you about it, you can almost always assume that they've changed the address. We got Larry Todd's in the house. So howdy, Larry Todd here.
Larry Todd.
Silver hair stacker.
Wait a minute. Tommy says he was born in 76.
Well, then he ain't no 50.
No. He's 47.
Let's see. Duncan VR. I hope your doorbell does not ring. I always think it's my doorbell. Hello from Sydney, Australia.
Well,
it's going to ring.
It's going to ring.
It's going to ring.
And it may even ring twice.
Yeah. Let's see. Duncan VR says, if you want the money, you have to ship the items even when you don't feel like doing it.
That is right.
That is, to me, a lot of people say, they go to yard sales, they buy all this good stuff, and then they bring it home and it just sits because they get to this point where they don't want to go in and list. I don't mind listing. It's the shipping that really is just a drag, just so much time.
I don't mind shipping as long as I'm not taking it off the top shelf and it's a 50-pound item.
Yeah. Yeah. We got Tina's in the house.
She changed her picture, her profile picture. She's usually in the convertible with her hair flying in the wind.
Okay. Duncan VR says, if you want the money, we already talked about that. Jerry Johnson says, hi, everyone. Saturday, I listed my first item in a new niche, motorcycle parts. Liquidation from a closed business, and it sold in less than 19 hours. Yep.
Motorcycle parts sell well for us. We don't get them often, but when we do, they sell very quickly.
Yeah, I got some piping for a Yamaha, whatever, right? I don't know even what make or model it is, but
you just said Yamaha.
But that's the brand. It's some kind of I don't know. I don't know anything about bikes, but I know that they do sell, and we keep buying them for that reason. Cayman Ninov says, hey, y'all, do you want to shake up real quick?
Do you want to shake
you up real quick? Sure. I'm curious as to what that's about. Lawrence Trombley says, since this new international policy, I get over a half complaints about shipping prices. Never got that with the old policy. Well, I don't do international right now, mainly because the stuff we sell is just too large. So I just don't bother with it. I'm not losing a lot of sales, I don't think, because I'm not. Andy Reno says, John, whatever you do, don't stand up.
Because you said you were a commando.
Oh, okay. Well,
he has pants or shorts on.
Yes.
It's his head that is commando.
I've left my head naked today for you guys. So
it's always a debate
exposing
before we go live.
Well,
wear the hat, not wear the hat.
No, it's never been a debate.
No, it
never has been.
Is.
No, I wear my hat.
Usually it's wear your hat.
Let's see. The Tampa Bay Picker says, hello all. Thanks for being here. And then Pork Chop. How do you do from Texas? Or how do you from Texas? Well, howdy from Texas as well.
Howdy from Texas.
Yeah. Glenda Bavona says, hi, John and Jenna and all the FA family. I had a little trifecta today. One sell on eBay, one Mercari, and one on Posh.
Yay!
That's awesome. That's really
I checked our
you hit for the
I
reselling
checked
cycle
our
today.
Mercari today because I've been cross listing a lot, and all those baseball things that we sold in a big giant shipment today. There was an offer on one. That's why I was yelling at you.
Well, then I have to sell
from
the one
my
that I have my trout in.
and saying, "Hey, we don't have any more of those, do we?"
Yeah.
And so, because I didn't want to send them an offer.
Yeah, good catch on that. Mike sold a sealed VHS for $15 a day. That was a fluke. Well, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, for the most part, 95% of the stuff you're going to find in VHS format, even if it's sealed, is probably not going to have that much of a that high of a value. If it has a good collectability, I think Archie came across some with pretty decent collectability in a lot of stuff that he picked up. And, you know, it's just one of those things where if you buy even a large lot of them, just be prepared that most of them are not going to be very good sellers. Moon Mug says, question, how do you feel about Shopify or having your own website? Is that something you ever think about setting up? People have told me, you know, hey, why don't you do Shopify, this, that, and the other thing? And initially, if you're thinking about getting away from the eBay fees, getting feed to death, right? You have to think about, how am I going to generate traffic? eBay has always been about traffic for me. The site, I think Bonanza looks probably better than eBay at this point as far as the way the site looks, but there's no traffic there. So your Shopify is going to be a lot like a Bonanza store if you can't figure out how to get your stuff promoted through like Google Shopping and that, right? And that costs money. You have to pay for that. And that traffic to each of your items, after it's all said and done, I mean, you might as well have just been paying eBay fees to begin with. And eBay knows that.
The only reason we would ever have a Shopify is if we were selling our merch on Shopify. That's the only reason I would open up.
CM Retro says, gaming says, I do the opposite of John and I sell twice as much. LOL, JK. But that's just it. You can have large stores. So that would be the opposite of me. I have a small store. You can have large stores, sell at low ASP. And I guess if you have enough numbers, that can work. But I'm hearing from the grapevine through different sources and stuff, kind of a confirmation of what I've been saying almost the entire year. And that is, if you have a lot of things in your store that's not selling, getting views, maybe getting impressions, but not getting sales, it's dragging the down the rest of your store's performance, if that makes sense. So, you know, again, I think that's the model that a lot of people have succeeded with over the past few years, just building a huge store and just letting the numbers game kind of take care of everything. And that was kind of a thought of mine. Like, you know, that is one way you can do well on eBay, but it seems like there's a lot of larger stores that are not getting the same level of success that you would think that they would get with the large numbers. And I think there's a lot to the lower sell-through rates that are really hurting their other items. So just something to consider, but I'm glad that you're doing well. Hey, I mean, you know, I don't care how you're killing it on this platform. As long as we can figure out how do we get you to make some sales, that's kind of what this whole channel is about. Midnight Merchant says, has anyone had problems getting delivery confirmation shipping to Arkansas? Maybe USPS doesn't scan deliveries. It's probably for me. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. These dogs, if I had a way to keep them quieter, I would, but I can't. So let's see. Let's find a topic or a comment. Has any, well, why don't we just go with this one? Has anyone, we have not, I don't think we've sold anything to Arkansas in many months. But then again, he does all the shipping, so I don't really know, and I don't really care. As long as it's selling to somebody somewhere. I moved on to the next one.
Sorry, everybody. Our dogs like to bark.
Yeah.
The older they get, the more they want to turn into a Chihuahua. So I put them outside this time, so we don't have to worry about that for a while. They
Well,
can. It's a
they are.
nice day outside. They can relax in the
I have
backyard.
the back door open.
But they're not hanging out there. I don't want them
Julie
barking.
does.
Anyway, so we have MK7 selling. I sell mostly industrial type supplies and have been very slow sales. Only been full time since February of 22. Started sourcing regular items last week, hopefully just in time for Christmas. There you go. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff that I sell, I mean, no one's buying a toilet seat for Aunt Thelma for Christmas. At least I hope not. That would be a horrible gift. So a lot of the things that I'm selling aren't really going to translate over to higher sales because they're really not gift items. These are items that people would buy because they have a need that's come up. I got to replace this part. I have to use the bathroom differently. I have to
What?
With those raised toilet seats.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, what? You just threw me off.
Yeah. But there's all kinds of things. I need this particular thing to take care of this particular thing, and it has nothing to do with what I'm buying my family for Christmas. So new items, new sealed items are going to have a value come Q4 that may not impact my sales much. So I'm wondering how Q4 is going to do for me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Q4 for the type of things that I sell are pretty much going to be, I'm pretty much where I'm going to be in Q4. I mean,
yeah, because I can't see anybody getting a gift of a raised toilet seat or
that's
a
horrible.
bed rail. Can you imagine? I would be devastated.
That's kind of like receiving a tire in the mail. And I'm still debating because I still have that stupid thing out in my garage. How many of you guys, if you guys know what I'm talking about with that person? And yes, we contacted eBay. They said that they weren't going to charge. They don't charge, but for the first time that label's used, that's what eBay charges my account. So they're not going to keep charging my account, which is what I mean, that's one representative telling me that. How accurate could that be? I have no idea. But I guess I'll go back and kind of do a deep dive and check and see if I'm getting hit with a label fee for that tracking number. But how many out there would actually, if the tire's in good shape, which it looks to be, it is used, but if someone's out there that needs a donut tire, would you sell it or would you chuck it? If I'm looking at comps out there for like $150 for these used tires. And we're talking like it's going to be a 22 by 22 by 12 box, which is, I don't have one, but I can pick one up locally for like $2-3. So would you bother doing that? Or you just say, you know what? I don't want this, throw it away. Yes. I think I'd be the only person in the history of eBay that's received a troll sending me something as a gag. And turns out that I can make pretty good some money on the.
I'm surprised you haven't listed it yet.
I haven't. Be honest. I'm just. I feel weird about it. I don't know.
Why
what do you guys?
Weird?
Because it's just I shouldn't have it to begin with.
Well, okay, but you do have it, so let's go on from there.
It just feels dirty to me.
It does feel dirty, but it doesn't. It doesn't feel dirty to make money off of somebody who thinks that they're going to continue to stalk us.
Yeah. Well. I don't care what they're sending. They can send something that's valuable, and I probably won't know because we're going to send it back. Yeah. Turn to sender. John Doe says, I agree. Never, ever buy DVDs or VHS, even though I have made at least $2,000 this year off them. I still have several totes of DVDs or VHS that won't sell. Just think about it. Every day that passes is a day removed from when those things were hot. Okay. With streaming, I remember when people were talking about streaming, and I remember thinking, well, I don't know how that's going to work. You know, first of all, I don't think my internet's all that great to begin with. I don't want to tie up my internet with someone in the living room streaming a show, and I'm happy with Redbox. Okay. And then as time and internet got better, Netflix, came on board and all these streaming shows to where you don't even need cable anymore. And if you don't need cable anymore, how many really are going to go out and buy DVDs or VHSs when they can go on, find it, go in and type the title of whatever show they're looking for and get it instantly with one of these streaming services? So I don't know. I think that's something that's in 10 years, it's going to be more and more of people saying that this stuff isn't going to sell. It's going to be more like a vintage novelty more than anything else. It's the great thrifter. Charlie Brown says, howdy, Chris Miller. Who is Chris Miller?
Chris Miller is,
did I miss a Chris Miller?
No, his name is not, it's Soda City Flips, isn't it?
I don't know, but I don't know who that is. But Soda City Flip says, what's up, y'all? How's everyone doing?
It's hard to say or to keep names straight when your usernames are different.
But I do recognize the icon. I swear it looks like Deadpool. But nonetheless, Duncan VR says, I ship 90% to international, and for some reason, no one from Asia is bought in 2 months. Nothing's changed in my store. Still collectibles seem strange. Any ideas? Well, I guess what you're selling doesn't have a lot of appeal to folks in Asia. I mean, that's obvious, right? But you know, if you're selling collectibles, they need to be things that people want. I mean, and you find that out by looking up your sold comps. Look up Terra Peak.
Shane is Soda City Flips. Sorry, sorry, Shane.
See, she jumps ahead. She cheats.
I have to.
Tommy Z says, I really like your chats. By the way, John, your beautiful and wonderful wife. You won, my friend.
Aww.
Yes. Well, thank you, Tommy.
You. That's so nice of you.
Let's see.
He doesn't always feel that way.
Well, I usually do. I just don't share it with you. It's the great thrifter. Charlie Brown says, great drinking and watching John. Wow, that's a bad combo. I don't know.
That could be entertaining.
It's if it's the drinking that's worse or the watching me part that's worse. But let's see. Truman 316 says, hello from hot Texas, John and Jenna. Box up some of that rain and send it our way. I like the new look. You two look marvelous. Well, thank you. It's not a new look. It's just one of those things where I just said, you know what, change it up a little bit. Because, again, I may show up. I don't want to show up to that cruise in Cincinnati with a hat on. Maybe I do. I don't know. Do I just dress the way I normally do, or do I dress up for it?
People dress up for it. So.
Yeah. So
I mean, Roman probably won't, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I don't want to be that guy, that is like, well, I guess Roman recognizes me. I go talk to him. But no, I'm just kidding. Actually, we're looking forward to meeting Roman out there. The Tommy Bernard podcast says, it's crazy to think about how hard reselling is. Buy good stuff cheap and sell it at market value. Mind-boggling. But, Tommy, if you poll most people, they think they've got good stuff, right? They think they've got good stuff because it maybe it appeals to them at the yard sale. They thought it was cool. The price was right. But unfortunately, I guess it's seeing those items that you think are good stuff and seeing how those things don't sell on eBay. Other people don't find those things that hot, and coming to terms with maybe I just didn't source good. And I think a lot of people, it's just like anything we do in life. I think we tend to we think we're better. We think we're better than we are. Okay. So like, I look at my business that I'm running, and I guess I could get comfortable and say, hey, I found the secret formula. I'm just going to keep doing exactly what I'm doing and not try to improve upon that. But that would be kind of falling into that fallacy where I think I have it figured out. I still have a long ways to go. And why stop here? Why not try to make it to where I'm averaging more money per day? I can do that if I get better. But I think also sourcing better is also in that equation. I can do better than I am now. So I'm not going to I guess, long story short, there's a lot of people out there that think they are better at this game than they are, and they are in denial.
Well, there's always room for improvement and learning. We learn stuff every day.
Yes.
So, I mean, you have to be open to it, open to changing things that you've been set in your ways about and doing them for years.
Yeah. I mean, I've always come to these live streams with an open mind. So I know that there's people that have experiences out there that I've never had. And a lot of people get up here like Tommy and some other folks, and they'll share their experiences. And it really opens my eyes to like, well, maybe they're right about that. Right. So otherwise I would have listened to Archie last year and made a lot of these changes, because Archie was telling me some things that I was like, no, you know what? I'm just going to keep going along the same path that I'm going on. Maybe I'm getting a bad run of liquidation here. And, you know, I got to get beyond my own hard-headedness sometimes. So, yeah.
It's a hard head.
Dixie Flipper Mike says, hi, John and Jenna. Hope everything was going good. I just listing here with the better lit thing I found this weekend in Las Vegas. Hope you are enjoying the hat. Yes, we love the.
Yes.
I like collecting hats. It's right there, hanging out with my other hats, but not enjoying any hats today. I'm just going the L no hat look today. CM Retro Gaming says, nice. I'm trying to kill that last 45 minutes of work. So glad to be of assistance with that.
By now you should be out.
He's got another 15 minutes. Callie Deb says, Poshmark has been good for me, even with the hard goods. Yep. Hard goods are good as well, but they're not really known for that as much as the clothing side.
Yeah, but they're getting a lot better with that.
AZ Cat Sue says, cross-listing daily, better prices and more frequent sales lately. And as an added bonus, if you're shipping or selling stuff on Mercari and Posh, you don't have to deal with these long-winded return policies where, you know, you have to wait and like hold your breath for 30 days that someone maybe doesn't break your item or maybe rip your item or stain your item or just decide they don't like your item. Whereas these other sites, they get it. They've got 3 days to report that there's a problem. And if they don't, well, then it's on them. Cassandra says, I don't usually find that Poshmark has lower prices. eBay, I had lower fees, and generally who take reselling seriously. A lot of casual and first-time sellers on Posh who don't price comp. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how some of these buyers or sellers on Poshmark find their prices, because I think a lot of them like to price their items a lot higher than they should be on Poshmark.
That's true. They think they're going to get full retail or even double retail, and it's insane. I'll go on there, you know, occasionally to, you know, I'm obsessed with skincare, so I will look for skincare on there, and sometimes I'm looking for something specific, and they've got it. I can go to the store and buy what I'm wanting for less than what they're selling it for. It's just insane. Well,
that could be two things. They're banking on the fact that somebody is buying it that doesn't have those stores near them, or it's like that yard sale mentality. You go up and say, what do you want for this? Well, I paid $100 for it. Yeah. What about give me 70? And it's like, no, I can't even resell it for 70, right? No. So it's that mindset that people have. And we have a super chat from Jovial Juggler. Aww. Thank you, Jovial. Take that gal out for an ice cream. You want an ice cream later? Well, thank you.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for the support on that. Yes. Thank you. And then we have Josh saying, don't forget to wish Tommy a happy birthday. Yes. And I think it'll be a happier birthday for him if I don't sing. So I will not do that. I'm not going to ruin anyone's ears on this live stream. Fisher Flip says, Poshmark has been outselling eBay every day the past month, and it should never be that way. Yeah. In theory, it should never be that way, but that's where your buyers are going. And that's where your Gen Z buyers are going, because they're more apt to go to Poshmark than they are to eBay. You know, I don't know why, but that seems to be what's happening. So people are on here on eBay selling clothing, selling shoes, and that's all they're doing. They're selling it on eBay. And I think they're really missing out on an opportunity to really get more sales. Even if it's an extra sale or two a week, I think that helps. And if you have and I'll say this again, like I said on Friday, if you have an eBay store and you're trying to get your items in front of more people, and the idea of getting an extra handful of sales a year, which don't seem like a whole lot, but it's worth something, spend 10 minutes, go onto that site called Bonanza and get your items, get your account synced up. And even if you get a sale on Bonanza, it'll end the item on eBay, and it doesn't cost you a cent. I made a sale.
I don't know about Bonanza.
Look, if I had to spend any more time than I normally do, I think Bonanza is a huge joke traffic wise. If you were to leave eBay and go to Bonanza and think, okay, I ditched eBay. The fees are gone. Well, you're going to get a lot of no sales on Bonanza. Okay. But when you do get a sale here and there, they're going to pay you through PayPal, which a lot of you have been selling for a long time. Know that that's not a problem. You're going to get sent your money to PayPal. It's going to accumulate in your PayPal account until you pull it out to your bank. And it's not going to take that much more effort at all when you do get a sale. In fact, I think I made more on that last item I sold on Bonanza than I think I would have made on eBay. Just something to consider. It never hurts.
Considering they paid out the yin for shipping.
They did, but that was Bonanza calculating FedEx labels, and they weren't utilizing a discount. The same setting I have on eBay that gives my buyers a discount on those FedEx labels, Bonanza ain't doing it. And so I guess some people would have refunded the difference. I'm not. Just the way it is. That's what they bought. They went into it.
Agreed to the terms.
It arrives with FedEx. By the time that they've expected it in good condition, then I did my job. Josh says, "Hi, John and Jenna. I'm going to listen later. It's my son's birthday." Well, awesome.
Happy birthday.
Well,
just kidding. Wow,
that was pretty good. Ken Daigle says, "Who dat? Happy birthday!" And at the Tommy podcast, a big
Tommy
50. Bernhard podcast.
Bernhard.
Yeah, that H is there. Big 50. Awesome. Maya says, "Yeah, Poshmark is doing great for me. I have definitely seen a lot of complaints about low balls, but if you're selling the right items, you could still make plenty of sales."
Yeah, there's a lot of low balls, and I'm pretty sure that's why people hike up their prices. But I mean, still,
buyers lowball because they can, because they have done it successfully. I mean, how often do you do something over and over that doesn't work? I mean, you get a lot of people on eBay that do the same thing. They know they get that seller that's desperate to make a sale. Heck, you can read half of the closets on Poshmark, and they're saying, hit me up, I'll make you a great deal. Any offer accepted. That's desperation. That's telling your buyer to come and give me a low ball offer. Let's see. Trying to get back, and then Tommy's claiming to be 55. I'm at AARP right now, listening. Hopefully,
47.
Yeah.
You're still older than me.
See, I don't know what to believe anymore. Is he 50? Is he 55? Or is he 47?
Born in 76.
Okay. Well, we know one thing. It's his birthday, so he can claim whatever age he wants, I guess. Wrestling Fig says, "Sup, guys? Just got off regular job and had to pack 14 things on my way to post office to ship this crap." Well, that's awesome.
Yay.
Get that pickup, especially, let's say maybe you don't need a daily pickup.
He works a regular job, so I don't know how that would be.
Yeah.
It'd be difficult.
Maybe just do it Monday. If you know you're going to get a sale over the weekend, at least one, maybe just have it on Mondays only, and the rest of the time you go and drop it off. Gravity Good says, "I feel badly for the houseless people who are living in those tunnels." Yeah.
Yes, it's very sad.
Yeah. And the thing that's sad about it is a lot of those people are, for a lack of a better term, they're whacked out of their mind. Okay, they're strung out, and they have no idea that there's a storm coming, and the water just sweeps them away. A lot of people talking about how they find nothing but just bodies that come out on the other side at Lake Mead all the time when we get storms. So
it happens every time there's a storm.
Yeah, it's sad, but I mean, what can you do? They say that's not a place you want to go down and venture, though. That's for sure. That in those tunnels underneath Vegas, it's like its own city underneath Vegas.
They call it the underground city.
Yeah. It's the Great Thrifter says, "I've seen a lot of complaints about eBay being dead. I had to hire 2 LAs this year." What's an LA? "We are mainly listing out of our 4 years of death pile. But I think you're talking about listing assistants or VA. Maybe a VA, virtual assistant, maybe." Let's see. Tommy says, "Hey, me and Kent tried to watch in the beginning, but you had some boring dude that made it hard. Now you have Jenna. It's different." Wow. Okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to pretend I didn't see that comment. Mike says, "One away in the chat right now. I knew the late start wouldn't affect attendance. You do deserve it all. Hit that like button."
Thank you, Mike.
I don't know if we had a late start. We were on time. We just didn't have the chat warmed up for you.
Notification.
Yeah. Kira says, hi, today all day I was taking photos of inventory, watching all of your past lives, and I just now sat down to list everything, and you guys are live again. Yeah.
Yes.
Mondays and Fridays, 3 p.m. Pacific,
Oh my
6 p.m.
goodness,
Eastern.
Look at her little nose. Yeah, I just want to boop his nose.
The Variety Flipper says,
Hey,
and
where's
bam,
no one designed too?
just like that, here I am again. You're talking about Shalami Shamich?
Yeah, Shalami
Yeah,
Shamich.
I don't know. Again. So thanks for being here, Variety Flipper.
Yes.
Tommy says, if you have slow sales more than an occasional bad day, just grab that Michael Jackson CD and put Men in the Mirror on replay until you get it. Wow.
Yeah, what he said.
Wow, that's funny. Eunice S says, it is not just listing, is listing good things. Yes.
That is 100%.
That's why this stuff here is just in this pile, because it's not going to get.
Well, it was sitting by my desk in a pile, and it's not going to go anywhere. So, you know, we have a little have a house inspection tomorrow, so I'm trying to.
I've got a
get
solid
the junk out.
I've got a solid 40 items that are out in the garage that I need to spend my time with. So these are emergency items, and even then, I mean, I'm selling them in a lot. I'm not selling them individually. Tommy says, store free listings and account selling limits do not coincide. Just because you buy an anchor store, you don't just get all the listings if you don't have the selling limits. Yeah, you got to have that as well. I have really 195 items currently on my store, and eBay has approved me for 2 billion with a B listings. Never see that in my lifetime. Even close with the largest store on eBay, let alone my store. So I think it's just overkill. But yes, you have to have the listing limits to match whatever you're trying to put up on eBay. That's for sure. We have Lucine. I don't want to butcher this. Katratrian. Hi guys, love your channel. Found recently. Could you talk about eBay pricing strategies in a nutshell? Well, it's as simple as this.
You're going to look up comps. That's what it is.
There you go.
She said in a nutshell.
There it is.
That's the nutshell.
Well, okay.
It's a very small nutshell.
Pricing strategies, though. So pricing strategies are a couple things. You can say, okay, I'm going to incorporate shipping into my price and then figure out what that's going to be. But I think if we're being honest, in my opinion, that's more of an advanced reseller move, because too many times if you incorporate shipping into your price, okay, you still have your cost of goods, your shipping. Now, if you sell to someone on the other side of the country and that shipping's more than you thought it was going to be, you could be taking an L on that item. So you have to really know what the max is that I'm going to have to spend for shipping on this item. So I don't even get stuck in that trap. I like to say, okay, I see that it's selling for $75 in the sold comps. That's free shipping. People are doing it, right? So I know that my item is probably going to cost $15 to $20 for the buyer in shipping. So I'll back it down to about $55 to $60 plus shipping. And then I have my markdown sales, my coupons they can use to bring that down. I'm probably only into that item for less than $5. So I've got a lot of room to work with. So pricing strategies really depend on one thing and one thing only. What did you pay for it? Okay, if your cost is high, you don't have a lot of room. You've got to really, and you're playing with small margins. You don't have a lot of room. You probably will get crushed if you have to ship it across the country on that item.
She said in a nutshell.
But my nutshells are pretty big. It's pretty bad.
That was coming.
We'll keep going. Hopefully that gives you kind of some idea where I'm coming from on that topic. The Variety Flipper says, I have a question. I read somewhere this week that eBay shadow ban slows out. Okay, I know shadow ban is listings if we end and sell similar. Truth or not? Nope. Been doing it solid for now going on 7 months of doing this. I have a weekly routine where on Thursdays, and I do it on Thursdays because I go and pick up. I'm spending hours going and picking up like 2 to 3 carloads of stuff every Thursday. And that's just less time that I have to list. Yeah, I will get listings done, but I will take the store. I will end most of the items. If the item isn't a multi-quantity listing, then I will go in and end item, sell similar. I'll change something. If the prices need to be changed, I kind of gloss to the prices, or I'll just take one thing. Maybe I'll change my return policy so everything's uniform, and I'll go in and do a bulk edit that way, launch the new listings, and I will get a new item boost. I got to tell you guys, it's working for me. I do it religiously every week, and I haven't had
That's
bad
the
sales.
reason why we're getting more sales on Hot Desert Deals, the crap store. And so if he doesn't do that, then we notice big time. Well, I notice big time, and therefore then he notices.
Yeah, Belinda says, hi from Houston, Texas. Do you check immediate payment when you make your listing? Yes.
Yes.
I mean, my last account, I was dealing with, well, the other account when we were selling those military patches and stuff last summer, I didn't have that checked, and I didn't care because I knew based on my interactions up to that point that I was not going to have an issue getting paid, and I never did. It's a different type of buyer. So some sellers can easily say, you know what, I'm not going to check that off because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to buy and multiple things from me. And so because of that, you wouldn't check that box. You would allow buyers to continue shopping. Maybe you're listing new stuff every day. And then, you can tell them, hey, when you're done shopping, let me know. I'll send you an invoice. But for the stuff I sell, I'm not going to ever see these people again beyond their first purchase. So I want them to pay for it right now. Yeah. Let's see. Tracy Park says that Tommy has requested feet pics for his birthday from all the women in chat, and Archie he'll include them in his shoe listings.
I'm sure Tracy's picture went first.
And notice he's not asking for any feet pics from Roman.
No.
Millie Vega says hello from San Antonio, Texas. Vegas Decor.
Vegas Decor.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Let's see. Kind of get down. We have Dave Philman says happy National Senior Citizens Day.
Hey, Tommy, you're right there. Go get your discount.
But because Jovial's not the one presenting that, I'm not sure that's all that official. I'm not sure that's.
Hey, don't downgrade Dave.
I'm not. I'm just wondering. It's like I'm used to getting my information off of Google, and now for some reason I'm using Bing. I'm not quite as confident as the information I'm getting from Bing than Google. That's kind of the situation here.
So you're calling Dave Philman Bing.
As compared to Jovial, yes.
I think you should just stop while you're ahead. Rude. I'm sorry, Dave. We can't control him.
Roman says, quote, "And advice from a person who has nothing to lose, it'll lead you to lose everything you have." And he says, quotes from Tommy Bernard.
There's multiple.
Biff Boffo says, eBay was kind of weak again, but I had my first repeat customer on one of my cross-listing platforms. There you go. And I think the trends are showing me, based on what a lot of people are saying, that this is something that's going to become a thing more and more, that eBay's unfortunately looking like they're going to continue to lose market share until they get their act together, and people are going to make more sales and repeat sales on other platforms. What is that? A burger?
Biff Boffo changed his picture too. That's an In-N-Out burger.
It looks like burger and fries.
It's an In-N-Out burger.
Mark Suddick says, hi, I'm late to the live today. Glad you survived the storm. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Also hit that like button now. Yes.
Hey, Mark.
And what we didn't mention, as most of you know, if you hit the like button within the next 24 hours, I don't know how it's possible, but you should see a cha-ching pop up on your phone from a sale here.
Todd has been getting them all throughout the broadcast.
Todd, which Todd? Talking about Larry Todd?
Larry Todd.
Okay. See, that's where you're confusing me. You gotta call him Larry somewhere in there. Biff Boffo says eBay was kind of weak again. We talked about that. I'm just sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get. Sometimes these things pop up twice. Thomas says reseller math is like the Bible. It always needs to be rewritten to fool the sheep. My best quote, Roman. Wow. Sarah says, hi, y'all. Thanks for being here. Jovial says, there you go, Jenna, jumping in the big chair. Yeah. That was
that the USPS or
that was USPS? That was our new carrier. All happy to be here, and very, very happy to receive a large bag of boxes, whereas the other one knew not to show up on Monday. Simple and Beautiful says, hey, John and Jenna, another seller is trolling us on eBay and defaming my listings for 2 months now and violating eBay policy, but eBay allows it. How? Well, I tell you how they allow it is because they're making it harder and harder for us to get a hold of someone in the right department that's going to help. I've gotten to the point now where I can't call anyone. I have to go into the automated chat and then type in, have someone call me. Then it wants to ask me 30 questions. And I basically tell it to have someone call me. I think after the third time, it gives up and offers me a callback. And then I get someone over in Manila. And that one's fun to deal with. You get a lot of people who sound like they care, but at the end of the day, they don't follow through. So, and they won't transfer you to anyone either. They're claiming that these departments now operate in the back room and they don't take calls anymore. Like trust and safety is kind of where you probably should be. You can go and report your buyer. There should be a link somewhere in the listing to report the buyer or the drop down from the transaction if they bought from you. And good luck. That's all. We're dealing with a lot of the same kind of things.
We're dealing with a similar. I mean, I'm not sure the extent of yours, but we're dealing with that too.
Mark says, Jenna, you look great today. I hope John is taking you out to dinner and a night on the town. She doesn't like to go on the night on the town.
Thanks,
though.
Mark.
But
I do like to go out to eat.
We might end up doing that. We might do that. Sarah says, my sales are coming back after taking action. A lot of information to share on the matter.
Good.
Well, spill them beans.
Spill the beans.
We like hearing stories.
We like to hear success stories.
Yeah, we can't just hear my bad beat stories. We got to hear, where you were and where you're at now. That's what we want to hear.
That's awesome.
Lisa says, hi guys, great job on Let's Do.
She's right.
So you're on Let's Do?
I was on Let's Do.
I only thought you were on Let's Do Lunch, but you're on Let's Do as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Thank you, Lisa.
Let's see if we can get down
fun.
here.
Definitely out of my element, but it was super, super fun.
Larry Todd says cha-ching, and John Doe says I would sell it and then laugh at the person online and taunt them to send more. Yeah, then next thing you know, I'll get an iPhone, right? It'll be like I don't even have to go out and source anymore. I have this person sending me stuff. Sammy Hall says, I'm not sure if it's stolen goods you can get done. A tire, though.
It's stolen goods you could get done.
It's a tire. I mean, nobody's putting an all points, bulletin out for a tire, though, from Illinois. Doyle Warehouse says, I would return it, not waste your time. You have enough in your death pile. I don't really call it a death pile. I call it backstock.
Wait, let me read that again because I was going to.
Doyle says, I would return it, not waste your time. You have enough in your death pile.
We can't return it. That's the problem. So it's either it goes in the trash, it sits in the garage, or we just sell it and make $150 off of this fool. That's what I want to do.
Sending it back to that address would cost me money. So that's not an option. Throwing it in my trash can is free. That doesn't cost anything. And or I can then inspect it, make sure everything looks good with it, list it, sell it for $100 plus shipping because the comps are $150 free shipping. Yeah. And, make a little coin off of it and reinvest that money into product. That sounds like the better option to me. But Simple Beautiful says it's another seller and no, they're not creating new IDs. Ping G.
Yeah, Ping had.
Okay. JRKR 1964. I sell DVDs and Blu-rays every day, and certainly you can. I'm not saying you can't, but is the juice worth the squeeze? And what I say is the time that you spend into listing, packing it up, storing it, all those things worth you maybe making $3 off of a DVD after the shipping, because maybe you're offering free shipping. I noticed that when the DVDs we list, we ain't making nothing off of those.
We don't make nothing. Well,
and you're now, right?
It's probably just because of what we sell. Like what we're so used to selling high dollar products. And so to go and then sell a DVD for $7-10, maybe $15 if you're lucky.
I mean, not to say we won't.
Not to say that we wouldn't, and we haven't, but we have, and it's just not it's just not our cup of tea.
See, we have that stuff in the other store, so we're selling that
Yeah.
stuff. So when I am used to selling 2 or 3 items, like on that store, I'm like, okay, I see 10, I get kind of excited, and then I say, oh wow, we only made $150. So we have to pack up 10 items, and we're only going to make $150.
Yeah, when we make $150 on one item
in many cases,
stores.
right?
So
it's like, am I going to spend extra time, extra space buying this kind of stuff and letting it sit, waiting for the unicorn buyer? And it just doesn't make sense anymore. So I guess you have to see it from the other side. You have to see it from the perspective of buying higher ASP things, watching that stuff sell, and then try returning back to buying a bunch of DVDs and VHS tapes and Blu-rays and getting less money for your effort, individual effort. Yes, it's quicker to list more stuff. I get it. But at the end of the day, I just don't feel like, from my perspective, the juice is worth the squeeze on those low end items. And I think eBay's starting to agree with a lot of what I'm saying. But
there's a lot of businesses, eBay sellers that are running businesses based on VHS, cassette tapes, and that is okay. It's okay. I mean, that if that works for you and that's your business model and that's what you love to sell and you're successful at it, do you.
Nobody here is saying, look, if you're selling DVDs and VHS tapes, you're on the road to ruin. That's not my message at all. My message is, if it's working for you and you're happy with your results, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you have been doing this one thing all this time, and now for whatever reason, over the last few months, you've seen a steady decline in your success, well, how long are you going to ride that ship until you jump ship and try something new? Or are you going to go down with the ship? So that's my message. Keep doing what makes you happy and what works for you and pays your bills. Don't let someone like me or anyone else tell you not to do what you're doing. Yeah. I'm just telling you, I've made that transition from low-end items to higher ASP stuff, and it has made a huge difference for me. And I, unless the market tanks, I ain't going back, guys. There's too much money to be made in that. It's so great to have money that you can count on, not only to just barely pay your bills, which is the mode we were in last year, selling these smaller items, to having money in the bank that now I can say, if something were to happen, I've got a couple months worth of bill money that I can fall back on. And that's it's called peace of mind. And it's having that. It makes things so much easier. You don't have the stress. Yes, I got a list. I got to do the same things that you're doing, but it's with a different stress level that I'm doing these things.
It's nice to be able to know that if, an emergency came up, we wouldn't be freaking out because we wouldn't have the money, so it's nice to know that there's now a cushion.
And since it's Tommy's birthday, we're doing, let's quote Tommy, I guess. Roman says, your life is the fruit of your own doing. You have no one to blame but yourself. That's Tommy Bernard. Let's see. Another one. When you blame yourself, really, you learn from it. If you blame someone else, you don't learn anything because, hey, it's not your fault. It's his fault over there. And that's him pointing at eBay. It's his fault.
You have to say it with Roman's accent.
Maya says, the funny thing is I always feel like my items are crap and then I get surprised when they sell. I really don't think I have a good item.
Yes.
I mean,
that happens a lot too, especially with the items that are on our secondary store. When those sell, I'm just like, okay.
I'm constantly finding something and I'm like, I know I've bought these before, but there's no way this thing's going to sell at a higher price point to make this worth it. And then I look up the comps and I'm all, I guess so. I guess I'm buying it. Happens all the time. You find things that's like, there's no way. And then you end up finding a tractor part that, you're buying for $2 that's going to sell for $200. I'm going to keep doing it. It's just what works for me. Let's see. It's the Great Thrifter says, I think watching YouTubers open my mind to things I might not have tried. That's
exactly why we're here.
Yeah. I'm not trying to convince you that what I'm doing is the way. No. I'm trying to give you ideas. Your situation is different than mine. You can find things. Maybe you're passing up every time you go to a certain set of yard sales. maybe you're passing up certain items that you are coming across. Maybe if you start taking a closer look at those items, that'll open up a totally different door of sourcing for you. All I'm trying to do is tell you, look, I could have kept going down the road I was going on, and right now you wouldn't be watching this channel. I would be working somewhere. It's just bottom line. That's how bad things were for us last Q4, until we made the change in early February, late January, early February of this year. And if I was just closed-minded as I usually am, um, I wouldn't be able to tell you this stuff. So I hope that by me telling you this stuff all the time, and maybe it seems like a broken record, it's just to tell you, to show you, maybe give you some inspiration that there are sales out there, but maybe you guys are just, some of you are at least selling the wrong things. And I think the quicker you do like I did and come to terms with that, I think the easier it's going to be.
The worst thing that you can do is sit back and complain that you're not getting any sales and you're selling. Okay, since we're on the VHS train, and I'm not talking, rare or vintage or whatever the hot topic of the VHS world is. If you're sitting back, bitching and moaning about what you're selling or what you're making, why? Change it up. Get out of your comfort zone and start selling something different that's going to bring in the money and make you not have to complain about anything.
I think Archie can tell you, he's told you this story before. When I first met Archie, he came by the house. The first time he came by where we lived at the other place. And he was like, why do you have all these speakers here? These are the large speakers that hook up to your Bluetooth. I think Ion makes a lot of them. There's a couple other brands. And I got them in a large pallet. And I'm like, because they're large, I don't want to sell them. I don't have boxes for them. Most of these have no boxes. And I just don't want to bother with it. He's like, well, put them on offer up. I'm like, look, man, I don't want to deal with these large items. You want them? Make me an offer. I think there were like 10 or 11 these speakers.
Didn't
25 bucks.
Same day?
25 bucks. And no sooner did he get halfway home that he said, I got like a couple guys I'm going to meet with right now. I'm selling for 50 bucks a pop. And I'm like, well, good on you. But it's like that mentality. The money was there. And I was so stubborn to go out and buy a bunch of boxes to get out of my comfort zone. I was so uncomfortable to sell those large items that at the end of the day, I let someone else make the money from the stuff that I sourced. Okay. The stuff that I got in my pallets. So was I upset about it? No, I felt kind of weird. I felt good that it was out of my garage, but now in hindsight, it's like, what an idiot I was, because I pretty much gave my money away.
Yeah, because we were so hell-bent on not selling large items.
Yeah. So good on Archie for taking advantage of my stupidity or my laziness, my desire to stay comfortable, my desire to stay comfortable with the small stuff that I had poly bags for, that I had small boxes for, and my lack of foresight that, you know what, people, the comps were there, sold comps online. If I sold them on eBay, I could have sold them for much more collectively than what Archie offered me, but yet I refused to do it. And I think that's where a lot of people are. They're stuck in, I'm comfortable. I love selling this stuff. It's small. I don't have to do a lot of work. It's not heavy. And you know what? That's not my mentality anymore. I am very uncomfortable every day. A lot of this stuff is very heavy. And guess what? It's making money. So that's the cost of it. Maybe being a little inconvenienced because I have to lift something to the front door and lifting stuff, maybe tweaking my back every once in a while, but the money's there, and I feel comfortable that I'm away from the other stresses in life, and I have a peace of mind, which I think I value a little bit more now. Greg Miller says, so if there's no comps on something, how do you price something? So if you have something that has no comps, now be careful. Search is broken currently on eBay for a lot of this. So maybe you go in and you're searching for a large, maybe you're doing an Amazon a comp. Maybe you're going to Amazon to find the item, and then you copy that entire title over to eBay and nothing comes up. Well, maybe you need to just put up the brand and the model number and see what comes up there. Now, if we're talking about collectibles and things like that, and there's no sold comps for it, auction. Because if it's a one of a kind thing, someone's going to find it. Multiple people are going to find it, and they're going to build up the value of it. I've sold many when I was selling those military patches last year. I didn't have any sold comps for some of this stuff. I'd list it, and the market would take care of it. So that's one way to do it. But you just need to make sure that it is something that isn't selling somewhere else. Maybe there's sold comps on there on Poshmark. Maybe there's sold comps on Mercari, and go with that. You can go check out WorthPoint, and you can know for sure if you have a store on eBay, you should be using Terapeak and looking up the last 2 years of sold comps as well, because you might be selling a winter item, right? But there hasn't been a whole lot of sold comps the last 90 days because we're just getting out of summer, and you might not see your sold comps, but maybe you're seeing sold comps from last year, if that makes sense. Maya says, by that I mean I usually get 65 to 70% of what my listed price is. Yeah, there's a lot of times that I'm, based on sold comps, I'm trying to get $75 and I'm only into it for 5. And eventually I'll say, you know what, it's been on my shelf for 3 weeks. Someone made me an offer of $40. I'll take it. And a lot of people will be like, you're giving money away because you're not maximizing what you can make off of that. But to me, I'd rather flip that item, reinvest it into another lot of goods, 3 or 4 or 5 more items, and make more money. Just multiply that, if that makes sense. Maya says, I think there's just as many lowballers on other platforms, but they have offer thresholds. If I forget to turn them on for eBay, I get 99-cent offers. But what I do, like I've told you guys before, I give them 3 strikes. I let them strike themselves out. They come at me with a 99-cent offer. I come back and say, okay, I figure out what is the lowest I'm willing to take. I give them that, because I also consider, how long has this item been listed? If I just listed it and they want to lowball me, I'm going to tell them, I'll give you like $5 off of it, but I just listed this item. This is the lowest I'm willing to go right now. But if I've had it on my shelf for a while, I consider what I paid, and I consider what is the lowest that I'm willing to take to move this thing. And then I'll come back and I'll put a little note. Please note, this is the lowest I can offer you. Please note, I don't play the lowball game, the haggle game that some sellers play on this platform. This is the lowest that I'm going to go. And if they come back and haggle again, I'll come back with the same. This is what I said. I don't know if you read my message, but this is the lowest that I'm going to take. And then third strike, block, denied and block. And I won't block them right away. I'll give them about 30 minutes because they have one more shot with eBay. I think they have four offers that they can make. They're going to come back with my offer, or it's a block situation at that point. But I don't get that a lot. Usually they go away. They don't come back after that, or they go in and buy the item at my price.
Kent says you Rico them.
Yes. Moon mugs. I list on 8 platforms, but eBay still wins. Yeah, eBay wins in many ways. If I sell the same item on Mercari and eBay, doesn't happen a whole lot. But because eBay is the platform that's going to hurt me the worst, if I get too many defects, then that buyer gets the item and I just have to cancel on Mercari. Biff says, does anyone know if the cross-listing tools inflate your external page views on eBay? I'm up 500% on external page views, mostly due to 2 massive spikes this month. Not sure why. I don't think it has anything to do with that, because you're cross-listing it over to, you might get a page view from looking at it. The program's looking at it to pull the information over. But if someone goes onto Mercari and buys your item, that has nothing to do. You won't get any. That's not eBay interacting with Mercari to show your item to someone else. So no, that wouldn't have anything to do with your eBay traffic.
Mercari interacting with eBay.
Right, but eBay is not interacting with Mercari to push that item in front of other people.
Right.
It's Mercari selling that item. It has nothing to do with eBay. Moonmug says, I seen YouTube video about them living in the tunnels. They were selling fake VIP club tickets to get by. Very sad. Wow.
Yeah, it is. There are documentaries of the underground tunnels, and it is Very, very sad.
Lisa says, thanks for the reminder to hit the like button. Yes, hit that like button.
Please do.
I'd appreciate that. And let's see. Maya says, I think maybe they find it on eBay where it's posted lower. I had a pair of jeans with 28 available, 0 sold on eBay. I sourced it for Posh, but it sold within 1 day on eBay. It can happen. Just there's a lot of factors in there. Let's see. Sylvia Hunt says, Jenna, last time when I said gorgeous as always, I meant you. Then my husband told me for women, it's beautiful. So you look amazingly beautiful.
Ah, thank you, Sylvia. I'll take either one. Because sometimes, you just don't feel that way.
Yeah. So Jovial, the Google of information on this topic, says it is indeed National Senior Citizens Day. Was going to post but didn't want to offend. Tommy, how does it make you feel that your birthday is on National Senior Citizens Day? That's horrible. But we love you nonetheless. So happy birthday.
Thanksgiving.
D. Schmidt says, oh, wow, I caught a live. Hello from Montana.
Montana.
Well, thank you for being here.
I want to go to Montana.
Montana's cool. It's like laid back,
Never been.
I've been there before. I've been to Billings, and it's like you're stepping back 15 years.
I would love that.
And their claim to fame in Billings is they have 2 Walmarts. That was back in 2002. So they might have a third by now. Let's see. Yeah, Kent says, Chipotle, here we come. That sounds good, actually.
No, I don't want
no Chipotle? Okay. Anytime Picker Roman says, Jenna did great, and Let's Do Lunch podcast. It was very fun.
Ah, thanks, Roman.
John Doe says 99.9% of DV and VHS are not worth the effort, but I have sold quite a few for $50 plus, even some sets in the $200 range. I think Archie recently sold a P90X VHS, even though you should not. That's your workout tape, one of those hardcore workout tapes from like the 90s. And he sold it made pretty good money on it too. Roman says, mainstream movies are very saturated on DVDs and Blu-rays, but I still sell them, even though I know not a lot of profit on those. Better lot them up. Mm-hmm. But you're just going to put a lot more work in getting those items up. I mean, you can still make money playing the numbers game, but I mean, if you're relying on the Jim Neighbors LP to make rent, I think that's going to be a problem. Colt says, what's the best alternative to eBay? Currently, if you're selling clothing or accessories, shoes, that kind of thing, I think, and yeah, they sell other stuff, but I really think you should be focused on Poshmark if you're selling those kind of things. If you're selling collectibles, and I know I get yelled at for saying the word collectibles, but if you're selling collectibles and things of that nature, you should be doing Etsy. And really everything else, I would say to do Mercari. Now, you can always do Amazon FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant, but you have to get past being gated for some of this stuff. And if you get a lot of Amazon liquidation pallets, you're going to bump heads with a lot of these third-party sellers that will report you for counterfeit claims and stuff. It's really cutthroat over there. So it just depends on what you're selling and what kind of risk you're willing to take on. Let's see. We'll get some more comments here. Andy says, hey, I sold the Black Diamond Aladdin VHS tape from 1996 for $16 after sitting 6 months. So that sounds great, right? But was it really worth the squeeze of sitting? Was that juice worth the squeeze and sitting on that for 6 months for $16? I don't mind sitting on something, but I need the return to be a lot more than that to take up my shelf space. Let's see. Tommy says the mistake was not selling. It was meeting Archie. Now he's like a wart. Won't go away. Wow. I don't think of him like that. No, I mean, he came over and saw an opportunity and I was willing to get rid of it. It's one of those things where my motivation was just get it out of here. Don't want it sitting here anymore. I didn't have plans on doing anything with it. Maybe a yard sale. As crazy now that sounds to me, that's where my mentality was. So I didn't mind him taking it for a song. It
literally took up like so much room. Yeah. There were so many of them.
Yeah. Glenda says, funny story. My son had me pick up a CD of DMX Explicit cut at the thrift for 50 cents. I had no idea who the artist was, but it sold within 5 days for a quick, happy profit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
sometimes we have to learn from others
Mhm.
what is going to sell and what's in and what's not.
What did I buy at the bins? I bought that one VHS. Remember that VHS? It was 1970s. It was like in a tin case, and it was the Hell's Angels in chaps. They had like the leather chaps. Remember that one? And it had like he was wearing those leather like pants with the open end or something, and it was on the. It was like a biker. It was a biker VHS, and there was sold comps for similar volumes, and it was it was Harley Davidson, and I think it had something to do with Hell's Angels or something. But it sold for like $40. This is like last year when I was picking up stuff for the bin. So you just never know. Now Roman would have kept that. He wouldn't have sold it.
Wow.
Christine says, "This is what I send to lowball offers. Thank you for your offer. Appreciate your interest. I'm willing to sell to you. Add your dollars for whatever you're asking for price. Think it's a fair price. Thanks." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. And then Joyce McGraw. How do those dogs get back inside?
I had to let them in.
No, it's nice outside. They can be outside today. Joyce says, "Hi, I love you guys. Thanks for the great information. This is Joyce from Ohio."
Joyce
I will
from
be right back.
Ohio.
Continue.
Well, thank you for being here. PTS Treasures Patty. Nope, still only 2 Walmarts, Billings and Laurel, at least 4 years ago. Yeah, that's a pretty small town. I wonder how many stoplights. No?
They're outside. It's nice out there. Sorry, guys. If it's annoying me, the barking, I'm sure it's annoying you guys. So I don't want to deal with that. Mary Knight's here with us. I've been getting a boom in sales on cookie jars from eBay and Mercari the last few days. The only downside is that they take longer to package.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have that fear that they could arrive broken, that type of thing. PTS Treasure says Billings has quite a few. Drive 107 miles west to Livingston, where I lived for 9 years, and you get 3 down Park Street. Is that the Walmarts?
No, the traffic lights.
Oh, okay. Devon.
But she did say there's only 2 Walmarts still.
Devon says, yes, you do learn from others. My son told me that a computer keyboard was expensive. Pick it up and flip it. Depends, though. I come across computer keyboards all the time, mainly because I'm looking for the right one for me. I think I found a pretty good one, but
this guy's gone through more keyboards.
Yeah, I know. I got a few. But I like the ones with no cord. I got this Logitech here, and it's just, for me, I like the ones without a cord. And I picked up some that are like this, but they just didn't feel right. This is fine. So I buy these and I get them pretty cheap, but then when you go to resell them, it's like no one wants to pay, what I think that they're worth. I can't get more than $15. That's with shipping. 15 plus, I think it's around $15 to $20. That's with shipping for some of these keyboards. It's not even worth trying to resell. PJ's Ecom 2050 says, hey, automated software for out of US located sellers. Thoughts on automation software and any suggestions? Not really. I mean, when you say automated software, you still have to do the groundwork. You got to do the investigation as to what you have. You have to, go in and make sure you have the right condition down. You have to take photos. You then have to store it away. There's a lot of things that you can do to automate the other parts, like the listing, by going through a VA, but there really isn't that I know of. There's listers, like you could do InkFrog, and that'll allow you to kind of go offline and create listings, but you're still plugging in all the values for each listing. I just don't think there's a way to do it. Maybe Tommy or someone else has an answer to that, but you got to put the groundwork in for your listings, though. D. Schmitz is still 2 Walmarts, 3 Goodwill, no bins in Montana. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there really isn't. We have the Goodwill bins here, but that's not like a bin store, like an Amazon pallet bin store, that type of thing. Kent Daigle says, I prefer the waterproof keyboards. Huh?
Do they have those in Ohio? Wait,
the bins? Yes, they got. That's Roman. They got
Roman has been to the. What is that? An Amazon one?
No, he goes to the Goodwill bins out there. And then Kent likes waterproof keyboards. I won't go too far into that. I don't know what that's about, but
why do you need a waterproof keyboard?
Tommy says vintage Clicks keyboards are the big money. Hundreds sold a vintage Samsung keyboard for $400 a couple years ago. Yeah, I just don't come across a lot of vintage stuff though. And I'm seeing not a whole lot more than that. So, and then we're
Kid says, shh.
Tom says I have a ton of keyboards in storage. Mice like to poop on them.
Ew.
No, those go in yard sales. By the time they get to the point where I know I'm not going to use them ever again, I'll just put them in a yard sale. Let them go for $1. So we are at the end of the comments, and we're only an hour and 40 minutes in, but we had a pretty good time. And I am going to probably be getting ready to take Jenna to go get something to eat. And
now the nightly question.
Yes, where do you want to go?
What do you want to do?
And
for dinner?
I tell you this: if I was to open up a restaurant, I would name it "I Don't Know," because that would get so much. I mean, we'd go there all the time.
I don't care.
Yes, it would. I'd have a sister restaurant called "I Don't Care," or maybe a third one. What do you want to eat? So
no, Kent, I don't do shit fillet.
You know what? I think that's kind of overrated.
Yeah, it's not my. It's not my jam.
I'd rather go to Cane's.
Cane's is good, but we just had that like last week. So
yeah, I'd rather have Cane's. So
I'll figure something out.
We'll do something. She'll decide, and we'll end up going. So, but thank you guys for being here. I want you to have a great Monday. It's a new week. You guys got to get your stuff listed. We're getting closer. Every day that passes is a day wasted or gone by that we haven't prepared for Q4. And I think for some, it's going to be more impactful than others. I don't think I'm going to be impacted by Q4 as much as many of you are, but get your stuff, get it up, and let's get ready for some sales. So we'll talk to you guys on Friday, and have a great rest of your week.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye.